Hey everyone, welcome to the Lace Up channel. My name's Mickey. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 questions that you have to ask yourself before selling your business. Now, over the last couple years, I've had 2 different companies approach us wanting to buy us. I've had to go through each of these 5 questions with a fine-tooth comb and really figure out, is it worth selling right now? In this video, we're going to cover the 5 questions. We're going to cover the methodology that I use to really determine whether or not you should sell your business. Hopefully with this, you could either pull the trigger or hang on for just a little bit longer to get exactly what you want out of the transaction and make sure that you do the best thing for you and your family. Anyways, let's get right into it. The first question I've asked myself each of the last 2 times I've been approached, am I psychologically ready to sell? Now, what does it mean to be psychologically ready? Well, you are psychologically ready when you are mentally exhausted and can't stand getting out of bed every single morning to come into work. You should be ecstatic to go into work. You should want to go into work more than anything because it makes you so happy to do so. Now, I'm not living in some kind of fantasy world. We all have our bad days and our good days. But when you are psychologically satisfied with what you're doing, the good days vastly outweigh the bad. So really think about, what psychological mindset are you in? Are you going to be equipped for the next 5 or 10 years to handle ongoing problems, to handle competition, to handle all the things that happen to you on a day-to-day basis? Because if the answer to that is no, and you're going to be depressed every single day, then you should largely consider selling your business. So again, question number 1, are you psychologically ready? Question number 2, is the valuation the acquirer presenting to you a valuation that is correct? Now, this is a very subjective question because the acquirer is trying to make the best deal possible, and they're probably looking for companies that they can acquire because the owners are psychologically done, they're psychologically checked out, and they're going to get a good deal on the acquisition. But you are smarter than that. You're smarter than that because you want to do what's best for you and your family. Therefore, is the valuation correct? Now, to me, valuation is in the eye of the beholder. It's completely subjective, and honestly, the person in charge and the owner of the business, that's the one that sets the valuation, because at the end of the day, only you know whether or not it's worth you selling the business or whether or not it's worth you keeping the business. Now, how do you know whether or not the valuation is correct? Well, let me give you something really simple that you could do, that you could tally up on a piece of paper and really think about. Okay, whether or not that valuation is correct. Anyways, the first thing that you want to look at is your assets. Take all the assets that you own, current assets and long-term assets. If you don't know what those are, I'm going to link it down below so you can look it up on Google. Then subtract your liabilities, both short-term and long-term. Then look at the last 5 years of net operating income of your business. Okay, total that dollar amount up. What's that total? Next, you want to look at the percentage change between one year and the next. So what percentage are you growing at? Okay, and then you want to look at the next 5 years of you owning your business, because the past tends to rhyme with the future. I know that something could come along and completely derail your business, but the probability of that happening in a short time horizon is extremely small. So you want to look at the past 5 years and the future 5 years, and then you're going to take the total of that future 5 years, add it together. You're going to add your assets. Okay, you're going to put that all together and come up with a value for your business. Let me give an example. Let's say that for the next 5 years, my net operating income, given the growth over the last 5, okay, is going to be 1 million, 1.5, 2 million, 2.5, 3 million. Okay, so 1 million plus 1.5, that's 2.5, plus 2 million, that's 4.5, plus 2.5 million, that's 7. Plus 3 million, that's $10 million. So your business, just based on future cash flows, is worth around $10 million plus the assets that you have. Okay, that's the way I like to look at it. So what is your business worth? What's the valuation? If they're offering you 3 million, well, guess what? In 5 years, you're gonna have made 3.33 times as much as what they're offering you. So really think about that. The third question that you really want to ask yourself is, how long would it take you making what you're making now at the growth rate that you calculated in the question before? How long would it take you to recuperate, okay, or to earn all the money that the person acquiring your business will be paying you out? So let's say, for instance, that person is going to give you $2 million. Well, let's say that you're making $500,000 a year. What you want to do is on the $2 million, you're going to probably have to pay capital gains tax. Okay, so subtract the capital gain from the $2 million. And on your income, you're going to have to pay income tax. How many years would it take to earn the $2 million at the growth rate that you're experiencing? Let's say it'll take 4 years. Okay, so 4 years from now, you would have earned exactly what they're giving you. So why would you sell? Again, it all goes back to how you feel psychologically, and it all goes back to how many more years you want to put in, because if you're patient and you just put in the work, you're going to end up making more money than what they're offering you anyways. The next question is, what will you do with the capital once it deposits in your bank account? So a lot of people, they think about, oh, if I had $1 million, my life would change. If I had $5 million, my life would change. But then they actually get that money into their bank account, and they've got no idea what to do with it. They don't have a game plan. If you don't have a game plan, then what you end up doing, you kind of get paralysis by analysis, right? Wherein you look at the money over and over every day, but you do nothing with it. You don't have a plan, right? So you used to make $500,000 a year, okay? Which eventually was going to be $1 million anyways. And now you have 5 million, right? So now you have to figure out a way to put this capital to work to offset the loss that you've had by losing out on the income that you used to earn. So if you don't have a plan, if you don't know what you're going to do with the capital the moment it deposits into your bank account, I definitely recommend you don't sell, because more than likely you're going to take all that capital and you're going to blow the money. The fifth and final question you have to ask yourself is, am I looking for greener pastures? So a lot of entrepreneurs, they like to get into a million different projects at once, right? You have all these ideas for different businesses, like, oh, I want to get out of the distribution game to make a piece of software. Or I want to start a clothing company, or I want to start a YouTube channel. But that's the idea of greener pastures. When you look for greener pastures, very little of the time do those greener pastures end up being indeed greener. More often than not, you go and you pursue something, and the outcome of that something doesn't end up being as great as the outcome of the thing that you have. So you end up putting too much value on an idea versus something tangible. Have you ever heard the phrase, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush? Well, you need to apply that methodology to this situation. You need to make sure that any other business idea isn't just some romanticized idea of how great and successful you're going to be in your head, because I can almost guarantee that you are undervaluing the difficulty of how long it took and how hard it was to build your business, and overvaluing how easy it's going to be to build a new business. So make sure you take that into account, and make sure you ask yourself, am I romanticizing about this other business? Am I thinking there's greener pastures? Because you're smarter than that. You know, based on your experience and all the hard work you've put in over all these years, that there is no greener pastures, that it is more effective, easier, and probably way more efficient for you to keep what you have, work it for another 5 years, and turn it for an even bigger profit. So anyways, I really hope that those 5 questions help you when you're talking to somebody about getting acquired. I can tell you that they've helped me, and in exchange, I've never sold the company. It's going to take quite the offer to get me out of here, to keep me from talking to you guys, to keep me from helping you all, because this is what I love to do. And real quick, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel so I can keep popping out content like this every single week. Apart from that, I hope that you have a great day. Take care.